just decided to record what I was doing for this. I'm just going through and finding, still finding footage that's badass. So for the Newport Beach Boat Show. So I flew the Avata a lot, and it's not the Avata 2. It's just the original one. So the image quality is poor, especially at night, but the footage is still so sick that it's worth it for me to do what I'm about to do to make it look better. So, and it's all just time consuming and basically just time consuming, but also the know-how of the software is important too. But right now I'm just finding the shots where I want it to speed the ramps to be. So I'm bouncing, I want to show the Lido sign, and it goes into focus pretty well right there. You can see it. But when I process the footage, it's going to be even better. It's going to look even better. But I want to do that after I find the ramps and allow the footage to process the ramps. So I'm just going to speed up this whole section I showed and make that ramp slow down longer. But by extending this out farther, it will allow me to do that. And then I'm also going to reframe the footage because this is actually this shot. So I'm actually just framing the 4K shot out of, or framing the vertical video inside of this wide frame. Okay, so I like that, but I also kind of wanted to try to see if I can incorporate. So I really wanted to do a fly through this van, but I didn't have some things you want to do, and you just like, well, I'm gonna save that one for next year. And there's something else I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna practice what I want to do with the fly throughs for an insane thing I want to do next year. So that ramp needs to be more. So it needs to be a slower shift, see, in the speed between the high speed and these, each end of this kind of adjusts it differently. And it's kind of interesting because it's not exactly always consistent. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I think after a certain amount of hours, you're kind of on autopilot until you get pumped again on a new section. Okay, so I can frame in right here. If I go Control V, I can see my position keyframes. So right here, I talked about wanting to incorporate that band. So I'm gonna add a keyframe here in the center line, and then I'm gonna have it bounce, boom. So kind of with the flow of the music too. And then we're gonna have it hold the van for a sec. So what I can do is get really close to where I want it to stay as far as the frame, and then add another keyframe, and then you can just drag that away, and that makes it. These are all just tricks you learn after hours and hours. But see, now it's bounced. Now it's got to be adjusted because it needs to come back quickly. It needs to come back. So we got to go. And it all helps to keyframe with the ramps accordingly too. So this allowed me to show like a transition into the Lido Marina. Let's see. I'm gonna have to adjust that. It's almost there, but it needs to start moving back sooner. You can actually totally do it too after, especially after it's rendered, but you can skip through. It's just flow, just as long as it flows. But then we're bouncing to that Bronco, yep. So actually I try not to do the keyframing too much until after I've done the ramping and the selection of where I want it to speed up and slow down. Oh, that's gonna be sick. So as it starts to shift back a little bit, I can go right there, blade. And sometimes you don't want a ramp at all. You just want it to hard smack into that slower or faster. And right now I'm doing this in 50%. We could go even slower. With a 4K 60 frame shot, I can actually slow it down to 25% with optical flow, where the computer actually processes and creates new frames from the surrounding frames. And it works really freaking well. So slow motion is getting so much easier to do. It's awesome. But I have to use it sparingly because I did one edit of a slow motion shot, a single drone shot. Given it was a long drone shot, it might have been a couple like 4 gig files stitched together, which is big. 4K times 10 minutes of 4K 60. That's a fucking shitload of frames. So it created a terabyte of data to actually apply optical flow. And that wasn't even that wasn't even the whole clip. That was one of the sections where I actually did slow the footage down because most of it was really high, really sped up. Yeah. Anyway, it's not part of this video. Okay, so here we are. This is gonna be sick because, and I'm not even. This might be one of the moments where I actually bounce the footage because it's. I love FPV, man. I'm getting the Avata 2 ASAP. And then right here, I'm just gonna have no ramp because I'm gonna have it go. You can hear where that hi-hat hits. Well, that's where that blade needs to be. Or kind of. Sometimes you want the actual shift to be slightly syncopated from the actual rhythm of the music. Sometimes the music has like a swing to it, you know? So we're gonna have it slowly slide to the right in this frame, in that 50% section. So it's starting in motion that way, and then it's gonna bounce. Yeah, see the image quality is so shitty on the bottom one at night. It's not HDR, it's just, but watch what I can do. It's just doing this so that I can kind of showcase just how insane it is. So I actually want to see more of the front end of the Porsche longer. So we're just gonna keep pulling that back until, and then I'm gonna have to adjust that keyframe because when I adjusted that blade location, the keyframe also moves. It's interesting how they move too. It depends on what side it's on. It moves proportionally depending on which side of the cut in the footage it's on. So I'm actually gonna try a little jump right here, just with it. A jump in speed. Oh. Remove the blade, remove the ramps on both sides. Yeah, it's cool. Sometimes subtle is very good. And then right there we can actually there's a double frame right there. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Let's see, so I've forgotten completely where the rest of the shot goes, but I know it's sick. Oh, I think, does it stitch to this one? No? Oh, it does, yes, perfect. Okay, awesome. let's see what happens here. Dragon. That's the other one too. That's a 6 shot, but I haven't gotten it from this angle. Okay, so this is the same shot. It's just the drone cuts the footage into 4 GB roughly sized files so that certain devices can handle it. It probably helps with the buffer or something on the camera too. So what speed are we at here? 419. 419. So. Oh, and then we also, so right now we need to know where that x-axis ends on, which is negative 5.1 x-axis right at the top corner here. And then we need this to match entirely in all of the aspects. This needs to be 317 and negative 5.9, negative 5.1. I'm actually going to probably slide it over here too further in a sec, but yeah. We'll see how this turns out. I'm going to undo that, copy this, and save it if I don't like what I do here. Because a lot of times, sometimes you never know. Then you can, if it takes this long just to get this far, you know, how many seconds are we? You know, how many times? Okay, so we're gonna add a. Should I slow down there? I would just go over 1 frame in that timeline because when you're at 419%, you get a lot of frames here. So when I slow this down to 50%, worked out about right. But I want it to either go on the thump or the. Yep. And I might actually slow this one down to 25% or 10% even. Probably not 10 because the footage isn't good enough quality. Okay. 50%, let's see what happens. Then we can get to the processing of the footage to make it look better than it fucking looks now. Yes, I love it. Because then I'm going to add the transition there is going to be, that's going to be killer. Love it. I'm pumped on that. All right. So before I do anything more, I need to process this and render this file because what happens is if you do, like this is going to create, so right now the project, let's see where we're at. Okay, it's at, I deleted the render files last night. We're at 368 gigs of just data created processing, mainly this big edit that I've spent 3 days on. You know, like this, yeah. The render files for this is what that 390 gigs is. And then like with all these layers and animation here. So if you go down to I love that the ship dances. Go unbridled. Okay, so here we are. And I'm just kind of making sure I'm happy with all of these FPV shots because I'm gonna go start incorporating like the people and faces here, which is next. Because this is the main edit that I'm working on. So anyway, okay. It's too much motion right there. It's too jerky. Needs to not come so far to the left. Right there. So it needs to go. We can just move that one over slightly to. There's 1,800 frames in 60 seconds. And there's 1,800 options every 60 seconds for where to place these keyframes so that everything flows right. And like, yeah, there's just infinite variables. And then like sometimes you don't want these keyframes, like sometimes you want them just to be linear like shifts in the axes instead of that didn't work, I don't think. Hold on. That's confusing. I have no idea what's happening there. Just press the back until That stops happening. Okay, there it goes. I don't know. Sometimes computers do weird things. Okay, I don't like that. Yep. Oh, now locked up. It's gonna be killer. But we might have to force quit. Yeah, I have to force quit Final Cut. It's locked up. It will not answer no matter what I do. That's half of the time force quit. Fortunately, it saves. Cool thing is, every time you reopen it, it runs faster for a few minutes. Hey, you gotta look at the positives, look at the bright side, huh? Yeah, I like this other FPV shot too, but I'm just trying to decide which one I want to use. I like the one that this has people, but like, I don't know, I think there's a way to use both of them uniquely. Okay. Okay, so that's the actual edit. We don't need to, the computer doesn't need to think about that right now. We just want render edit, because I rendered that other segments, but I can just continue editing with much efficiency. Okay, so now we're going to apply different adjustments to make this prettier, and hopefully there's not a lot of data there, like good usable detail data. So no matter what, it's not gonna be great. So that's why I could, like, ultimately this would not pass for anything but social media, but because it's on people's phones, you can get away with using lower quality like this Avata shot, because it's on a phone. It's gonna look fantastic on a phone. When you stretch those pixels out though, it really falls apart. Go ahead and make it a compound clip, so everything I do is on both. Okay, so sometimes I try Final Cuts, like, it doesn't work as well with drones. It works great with the camera footage. Yeah, it's like editing a JPEG. It's not great, but we're definitely still gonna be able to make it look better. Love it. All right. So now I'm gonna apply. Noise reduction, which is also gonna give me the ability to maybe play with a little bit of sharpening, which is like, there's like a fine line, really fine line. It's very obvious though where the line is. And this is going to take a while. So this render wheel, you can't see it on the screen recording, but you can see it right here. I'm going to open this, and then I'll drag it up there. So this is the render wheel. And so this is the processing of the noise reduction, which did perform really quickly. So that's better, not great, but I haven't adjusted it, and I'm probably just going to have to hike this to the maximum right now. So now it's applying. So now it's at max, and then I'm also going to try to up the sharpness to slightly better. It's so bad in the dark, like it's just a blur. But see, but too much sharpening on these areas is going to be too much. Yeah, I just want medium. Maximum and medium, and then actually want this to bounce back to the cars, I think, instead, because let's see where my keyframes are. slightly less quick. All right, that should be better. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna just pull these out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna pull these out of here and put them on top of this because oh, magnetic timeline always messing with me. Because what I'm gonna do is just take my effects that are on this clip right here, copy that, Shift Command V on both these two files, highlight both of these, and then maintain their current keyframes, but apply that image processing to the actual files themselves. That way I can manipulate the timing still. Because like I wanted to go faster on the car to the bounce right to the party. Like that shot needs to be probably double. Well, so let's see, if I set 419 right now, we're gonna go to 800 on both sides. Make that ramp a lot longer. Okay, cool. All right, so now, let's see. Yeah, what is this? I'm doing all these edits over here. I guess you can't really see what I'm doing in this screen recording now. Beautiful. See, when it's small, it looks sharp. I wanted to ramp up into that, I think. When it gets difficult when you got a lot of things going. Yeah, I like that. Even more slow. Drop to the 50% playback. Even slower. Sometimes it doesn't play back what your edits are doing until it gets a chance to catch up. The buffer, I think, fills up, and then it's like, okay, you're gonna see what you had before you let me catch up, which is probably exactly what's happening. Much better. It's just flow. It's just you're gonna feel it. You gotta feel it. Cool. All right. So, and I've applied the beautification of the last step that there is the biggest one, which is the machine learning. So I'm curious to see the difference between the file size when it's just this, and then when we add optical flow, because it's gonna fill the hard drive up. Like, I'd be surprised if it didn't fill the hard drive, but I have a 2 terabyte high-speed drive I'm editing off of right now. This guy. And let's see here. If I go get info, I can see where we're at. It's pretty already full. Okay, right. Okay, so I cleared it last night of more files, so I have 800 gigs left. Currently, this project is 371 of those 2.5 of those 1.7 gigs. This number will probably double at least after I process this footage, but it's going to make the footage look so, it's worth it, but it's going to probably take 2 hours. One shot. Wonder how fast you can speed up my talking and still understand it. So I'll sound like a mouse, but 54, 55, 56. Yeah, this is the fast render of this one file. Okay, that finished. So, and because I have to get so much done still, and people are going to start getting mad at me, even though this is what I'm doing nonstop every waking second. Okay, it's going to look sick now. Yeah, it's done processing that. So now it looks real sharp. There's so many cool things I can do with that. Also, that's another segment. I'm gonna a little abrasive. That doesn't include. I haven't done motion blur or anything like that, which totally would. Okay, so I'm gonna. Sometimes I need to add little transition keyframes and just stretch out. It's like padding. It's kind of like padding the motion, the movement, the transition in the frame. Well, it's exactly what it is. It's so you get as close as you can. So it has like a little gap of like real small amounts of, see? So it makes it like a little cushion. This needs this little turn wrap. So it's just because there's slight motion. So you can see where the drone kind of like, it's not a perfectly speeding. The motion of the drone was not consistent. So when you speed it up, you can see that fluctuation in the speed of the bounce. So even though the speeding of the footage is, so what you can do is you can adjust the frame in areas that there's inconsistent drone speed, and it will totally remove. It's like an optical illusion or something. I don't know. I can't explain it. All I know is it works. just render this. Yeah, it's better now. Perfect. And that like that would be cool for just slight motion, like the littlest details. People will tell me I'm crazy for doing, and I probably am. It's probably crazy to take them so much time, but I'll tell you what. I think it's gonna long term be what. Okay, and then what did that end on? Negative 9.6. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be better. So. Keep in mind, every time I make an edit, then especially on long shots where there's a lot of ramping and stuff, it just elongates the whole processing because now it has to redo it. That's why I experience, like, in order to, if I didn't have the know-how of all the different little details from doing this for so long, like, I know why I've spent 50 hours on, 60 seconds, which I could still do, honestly. It's all these little things that cumulatively, you don't know what it is because there's so many of them. You don't know what it is about it that has like a certain draw to it. It makes you feel something in a way, especially if you have like headphones on. It's like an experience watching it, and I firmly believe it's just not ignoring, not saying, oh, people won't notice. No, they won't. That's not why you do it. You do it because it's like anything in life. If you do it the right way, or with genuine interest in doing it the best it can be, it's going to be better, and that applies to everything else too. Really comes down to your intentions. This is not fiscally responsible, but it's also why what I enjoy, what I love, clearly. So cool. All right, we're just gonna render this because I like the way it sits right now. It's a little aggressive, hard painting here. It needs to not hold that van that far that long. So I think it's this camera. Yeah. Bounce. I gotta keyframe out the drone's like motion problem. See? Here we go. You can get it totally perfect too, but we're not gonna. Sorry. I didn't pay enough to get it perfect. It's not that I'm not getting paid, it's that I'm not charging enough yet to get it perfect. But I think I'm done doing that. gotta let that render. I gotta move on. Okay, let's see here. Yes. All right, I'm happy with it. Let's just export it. There's so many sick things I can do with that, with the lights in that shot. Let's just here, watch this one more time. I want a little. Yep. Cool. Well, come on, baby. Render. I'm sure the screen recording does demand like a small amount of processor, but it's not enough to like really tell, especially just doing, this is just a singular, you know, processing of a single clip, a single drone shot, and ramping and you know, analysis. Imagine like 50 of these different, you know, generally I don't have to do quite so much editing to the Sony footage though. Like anything that's like the Sony Alpha footage is real easy to get. Just, I mean, I can just color grade it and it's incredible. I do have my like signature. I really love the orange and teal. Like this is pretty shot, but like it's sexy. It just adds another element of sexy. It's like, even though it's not real, even though it's like, some people are like, don't kind of hate it. I'm like, dude, none of it's real. I like it. That's why I do that. Like this already has the neon neon teal. It's just, it's appetizing to the eyes. So this doesn't have that applied. So what I do is I create an adjustment layer. I'll just render it with the LUT on that section too, so that it matches. I gotta get the fast lane, guys. I don't have any. I got the cars in the drone shots, but I have so much cool footage. Okay, so then I go there, then I go color, custom LUT, and I have my presets. And on nighttime footage, it needs to pull it back, but it just already, like, it's just added an element, and it also lines up with the rest of this video. On low light footage, you really gotta pull it back. So then you gotta think the computer's gotta re-render all that too. And we never even applied machine learning. It's this feature that it's new. We've had it for less than a year. It's machine learning optical flow. So it's like, it's incredible. But it would literally, like I said, I did one drone shot and it created a terabyte of information, because it's literally generating. If I slowed that, I don't even know if I went real slow. I think I might have gone at 25% with a 60 frame 4K shot, 25% and just for like, you know, 10 seconds tops of, you know, it's creating. How many frames is it going to create in 10 seconds at 25%? If it's 60 frames, you can do the math. Come on, what's going on? Let's go. More coffee. on, computer. Let's see where we're at. Library folder size. Currently 371. I thought it was more than that. It's not creating a lot of data, doing just processing the footage. Okay. Yeah, that's the shit. I'm just a drug dealer. To be continued. Let's render that. And then I'm gonna post that whole thing on YouTube. Because I gotta touch, somebody needs to know. Render, edit, Avata, shot, add. And copy that. I don't need this long tail. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let's spit that out.
Welcome to the Newport Beach International Boat Show. I'm Wayne Rakuya with Jeff Brown Yachts, and I want to introduce you to one of the stars of the show here, the Wally Power C8X.
Come on, computer. All right.